Hello, this is Loran Swenson with Scan. Welcome to another video in our instructional video series. On this video, we're going to discuss and show you how to do the comprehensive scan. So let's get started. Open up the program from double-clicking on the icon on your desktop. This will bring you to your main page. Before you move any further from here, we need to select two things with the client and the technician. First, we want to go to the client, and there are two ways to do that. You can go down to the search string. If it is a first-time client, we need to enter in all the information that's shown here, and there's a video that explains how to do this and why it needs to be done a certain way. If it's a return and you know that this person has been here before, click in the top box and type in the first four letters of the last name, capitalizing the first letter, and then click on Select Client. And there's your client. Click Save, and now he's loaded in, or this client is loaded in and ready. And then select Technician just to make sure that the correct technician is working, and make sure that that name is in the blue up here at the top. Once that's done, click back. Now we're ready to proceed. So left click on the Programs button, and we're going to do the comprehensive. So we would left click on Comprehensive. This brings up the comprehensive desktop. Here on the left, you have the buttons that you have: Scan, Create a PDF, Frequency Optimization, Database, Analyze Back, and Reference Time. And then over on the right, on the bottom, you have Intelligent Scan and Email Report. So these are the buttons that you'll have access to from this page. The middle column is your categories. These are the categories that you have available to scan. So you've got the arteries, and you'll notice that these groups are in color codes, just for ease in locating the category that you want to scan. They have absolutely no bearing other than just ease in locating. Once you select something, so let's say we're going to do the arteries of the head, you would double click on that. It would move arteries of the head over into the scan list box. And as you see, it changes it from the red to black. And every item that you move in will switch to black, which means it's ready to be scanned and has not been scanned. So you want to do the eye. And it will also bring up the scan page. And as you can see, this would be a first-time scan, so there's no data in there. If it was a repeat and it was something we'd scanned in the past, we would then see the numbers in the boxes from the previous scan. Okay, so once you've got what you want loaded in, and let's say we want to do vertebrae as well, these items then you're ready to scan, and you would click on Scan, and it would immediately go through and start scanning each item from the top of the list to the bottom. When it's finished, it would go back to the top item in this list. Now this is the way you could do it manually. There's also another way, and that is, and oh, by the way, to remove those, just double click on them and it will put them back over in their category. So the scan list now is empty. Now previously we had, on this client, we had scanned, we'd done the vital scan, and we had done the inner voice scan. When you do those scans, the software will look at the things that are out of balance, and will build a list of things that should be scanned in the comprehensive. If you have done that with your client, like we have here, you would simply go down and click on the Intelligent Scan selection. And when you do that, it would load all the things that the software found needed to be scanned from the results of the other two scans, the inner voice and the vitals. This is a really nice feature. It saves a lot of time, especially if you're new to the AO scan. It makes it very simple to get started and get going. Now, this scan is just a suggestion. You can go through and say, oh, no, I don't really need to do the left eye, and you could double click it out. And I don't want to do the blood cells, and you double click it out. Or you could just not do it at all and select whatever you want to do. And so what we want to do in this one, though, is we want to load that in. And then all you have to do is click scan, and it would go through the scan process. Now, on this, on the comprehensive scan, the scoring is a little bit different from the vital scan and from the inner voice. Here, the scans are measured in a 1 to a 9, and the 5 is perfect balance. So if you have a number that appears in the little box off to the right of each one of the items that you're going to scan, a 5 would be perfect. It's in perfect harmony with what it should be. If it's a 4, 3, 2, or 1, it's progressively not functioning. It's slow, it's sick, it's not functioning the way it should. And the lower the number, the worse that situation is. On the converse, if it's a 6, 7, 8, or 9, it's progressively stressed, which could mean a blockage. It could mean a pinched nerve. It could be a lot of things, but causing stress on that particular item, and even indicating disease. So the numbering system here, again, 1 to 9, 5 in the middle being it's in perfect balance. Higher numbers meaning it's leading to a stressful situation. Lower numbers to a non-functional. Okay, so that's how you would read and interpret the scan results. Okay, so we're ready to scan. What we will do, though, is we will not do everything that's listed here. So we're going to go back and reopen it to where we're back to start, and we're just going to put in a few items to scan for illustrative purposes in this video. And so we've got 4 items here, and we're going to go ahead and scan those right now. Okay, so as it scans, each item that it scans, it places into the picture. It starts with a blank screen, and then each item it scans, it adds and forms, in this case, the arteries of the head. When it's finished doing the scan, it will then rotate. The picture will rotate as the software calculates and scores the scan, and then the numbers will then be placed in. So we've got a wide range of numbers here, and then it will go to the next item. And we do that through everything listed in the scan, and each item ranges from about 18 seconds to 24 seconds to scan. As you can see, when it's finished, then the numbers are displayed. So again, 5, if you see a 5, that's perfect. In fact, really the only numbers you really need to pay attention to is either a 1 or a 2, or a 7, or an 8 or a 9. The 2 extremes on both ends. Now, if you'll notice, those categories that switch to black when we put them in the scan list. Once they're scanned, they change color. A red would indicate, like arteries of the head is red, it indicates that somewhere in that scan there was either a 1 or a 9. If it's a blue, that means there was the highest or lowest would have been an 8 or a 2. And if it's green, then that means it doesn't have either a 1 or a 2 or an 8 or a 9. And in general speaking, you wouldn't need to do anything with anything that was green. We want to focus on the issues that are at cause and not things that are a symptom. Okay, so that's how a scan is done. And now at this point, you have 2 options. You can go into database and then compare these items, and that's what we're going to do first. And especially if it's a first-time scan, you definitely want to run the database, because when you go to database, it will load those items that you've just scanned into the categories here on the left. We want to select all of those. Over on the right, you see database type, and right above that is select all. There's 18 databases here, and we want to compare each item that we scanned with each one of these databases. This helps us get more to where the cause of the disruption is. And so you click select all, and then just to the left of that is analyze database. Now, as it goes through this, if you look here in the middle, second line, comprehensive file, it's scanning right, or it's analyzing right now the arteries of the head against each one of these databases, and it shows you which database it's analyzing, and it's giving you a count time for the amount of time it takes. It takes approximately 55 seconds for each scanned item to be analyzed to each of the 18 databases. And as soon as it finishes with the first one, it will then automatically go to the next one in the list that's been checked. When that is all completed, you would then go back to your comprehensive page and do your frequency optimization, which we will do in just a moment here. So as you can see, we're almost finished with arteries of the head, and now it's gone to chromosome 4, and it will do the same thing with all 4 items. The other thing that this process does is it generates your reports. If you do not do this stage, this section, in other words, you did your scan in comprehensive, and then you immediately went into frequency optimization, you would not get the detailed reports that the database compiles. So especially on an initial scan, this is really important to do. On secondary scans, a second or third scan of the same item, that report's really not going to change, so you could just do the scan and go straight to frequency optimization. But on the first time through, this should be done. And then after 4 or 5 scans of repeat scans, frequency optimization scans, it would be good to do another complete database analysis and see how much of that has changed. So as you can see now, all this data that comes up as it goes through this, you don't have to worry about trying to read this. It goes really quite fast. All of that data is being formulated into your reports, which will be available to you as soon as this is finished. Now, if you were doing a full scan, which would be 30 items, you're looking at approximately 29 minutes to do the database analysis on 29 items that were scanned. The scanning itself would have taken approximately 22 minutes, and the frequency optimization would take about 12 minutes. So there's a lot of time, but even with the amount of time to do a full scan, you can do a first-time scan including inner voice, vitals, comprehensive with database and frequency optimization in under an hour. And so it's a really great way to get a good overall picture of where the client is. And as you can see, it's all very organized for you to see what's happening. You can see at any point where the process is. And so now it's just about to move into toxicity and then to viruses, and then these 4 items will be finished. Now it's finished, it's gone back to the top. We want to go back and we want to do an optimization. Now before we do that, your box is empty. If you click up here where it says scan list, it will bring those 4 items back. You see that? It brings them right back to here. And then you would click frequency optimization. Now we'll go through each one of those items one at a time. It's approximately 20 seconds, give or take, on each item. The system will determine which frequencies need to be played back into the brain to help encourage the frequencies that are out of balance to move back into, or to try to move back into a more balanced state. As you can see right here, the previous, before optimization, the numbers have been moved out, and the optimized numbers are now in the box to the right. You can see those right there. So the top artery went from a 3 to a 4, so it improved one full point. Some of them there was no change, and every once in a while you'll see a number where the number got worse, and that is generally indicative of a Hertzheimer reaction where there's a healing crisis going on. Now if you look down at the bottom of the page, right down here to the right, percent change 36%. So this indicates that there was a 36% overall improvement on the arteries of the head. Occasionally you will see a number that's in the negative. And if you'll notice, the arteries of the head went from a red to a blue, so there was an improvement. We look at chromosome 4 here, this shows there was a 23% change. And in the right ear, there was a negative 17% change. Now, when you see a number that's in the negative, that means that this, and especially on a situation like this where it's a pretty big number, 17, anything over 10% plus or minus is substantial. 17% minus means the frequencies are only aggravating this situation, so we wouldn't want to do frequency on this again for a little while until we could get to whatever was causing the issues to begin with. So here's how you can see your change. And these reports, if we were to click email report right now, all 4 of these reports would be emailed to the client automatically. All right, so we've done the scan, we've done the optimization, we've done the database analysis. The reports are ready. We can go through these with the client, or we can go right back to database and click on this very top button on the right, reports. When you click on reports, you have 3 different reports. Let's start with the category. So here's all the allergens that were found in these 4 items and what they're affecting. It tells you now red, blue, and green again, from the worst to the least. It'll also indicate how long that's been affecting your the items that's been scanned. So your allergens, sensitivities, bacteria, brain and spine. And so all of this information is here and can be printed. The next one, instead of in databases, we have a summary, and it just gives you the numbers. It doesn't give you all the detail information except for emotional conflict. Emotional conflict is one of the really important areas that you want to pay attention to. So here there's quite a bit of emotional conflict going on here, more so than anything else. And then you have the comprehensive report, and this takes each item that we scan and gives you all of the things that were affecting it. Chromosome 4, right ear, and so on. So here's your report. When you close out of the report, it'll ask you if you want to close all those tabs, and the answer is yes, close all tabs. It takes you back to this page. Now, if you wanted to edit those pages, those reports, you can click on Edit Reports, and then you can go, okay, I want to see the summary. So there's the summary, or maybe I want to see, instead of the summary, categories or the comprehensive. And I can, whatever I want to send to the client. So let's say I want to take this, I only want to go to this section here. I can click Control C and move it over into File 2. And this is what I'm going to send to the client. Maybe I don't want all of this information to go over. So whatever I want to go over, I would then just copy and paste over to File 2. And then when I've got File 2 already, I would save that file, open that file, we would name that file, and that's the file that we would then send out to the client. And then we can go back, and that gives you an overview of how to do a comprehensive start to finish. I hope this has been helpful for you. There will be more videos into more detail on each one of those areas. And thank you for watching.